Hey guys, been a while. In today's topic, we're going to be going over the Golden State Warriors. Knowing that most teams right now currently are under 10 games remaining over in the NBA season. We, of course, have most improved teams to go by, most improved players to go by, declining teams to go by, disappointing performances to go by. And I'll try to see if we can sort that around the channel. I understand possibly we're going to have a lot of postseason, knowing that the NBA play-in tournament is not that long from now, and of course the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and then we got Major League Baseball about to come up. The Yankees are going to be playing in just a couple in like a half an hour or so. So might check up on that. Shout out to YTC. He always streams his sports content sporadically. Possibly going to go over WrestleMania as well. Currently, the Golden State Warriors are above 500. Around 4 or 5 games, so sixth best in the Western Conference, out of a measly seventh best over the Western Conference, being tied up sub 500, 36-36, now 41-37, only losing one of their last 5 games. Not bad record, and I gotta say the Warriors have been in a bit of trivial as they've been over the past several seasons. Of course, even though they won the NBA title back in 2022, there was doubts about them even further beyond like losing Kevin Durant, loss of depth over the youth on defense, inconsistencies in home away games, and currently they came out of a five game street, 5 game, you know, a 5 series road trip where they lost only 3 over their past 5 games, and another in a home court advantage facing off against the Denver Nuggets around tomorrow, around the 2nd of April. Happy April, everybody, by the way. Uh, and majority being around the third best in the West to the Sacramento Kings and the Portland Trail Blazers that always have a decent home advantage still with Damian Lillard playing. So a lot of proven games that they have to shoot out their opponent, especially Nuggets and Blazers, and the Kings that have been one of the best offenses in the Western Conference. I'm not doubting for a second that the Warriors can't pick up decent home court advantage. Well, we can lose around their depth. They have been at least decent in points per game, averaging the third highest. So these guys still have a score offensively. They still have the allowance of points per game for their opponents, over 23rd worst in the league. So they are just a struggle on defense. They barely hustle over in the rebounding depth, even though they got Kuminga and Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, and sometimes Steph Curry sometimes just clear over the lane. They're just getting Gary Payton Jr. back from injury. And they have a good secondary offense. I just doubt their production, of course. But around postseason, the Warriors are a completely different team. Let's get no shot about. They have the biggest chip on their shoulder, knowing that they've been to the dance more than 8 occasions over Steph Curry being there. Whenever they catch heat, they catch heat. Over the previous game, they dropped like 7 3-pointers against the San Antonio Spurs. They can accumulate over 40 points. They went over at least averaging around over 115 points over the past, let's say, 10 games. The lowest they even scored was around 109 over the entire month. So Warriors can give over that production, but they can't let out games. They even beat teams like they have no business beating, like the New Orleans Pelicans. Or when they beat the Mavericks, that could have been a shoo-in. They beat the 76ers in a closeout and shut them out by 8 points. Like, they can beat contending teams that don't take them seriously, or just not disciplined, or just not skilled enough over their system. My only doubt if they can keep that momentum up, knowing like in a playoff sense, defenses are going to be a lot more trivial. Sporadic times to shoot the ball is only going to be used over for probably Poole, Curry, and Thompson. And knowing if they can miss over their defensive assignments, even though they got veterans like Iguodala and Draymond coaching over the defense. And this is a team that had to deal with Draymond punching Jordan Poole before the season even started, and Andrew Wiggins over his baby mama drama that was reported to have an affair his friend having an affair with his own girlfriend, not even the child being his, so that's why he's been in an emotional break. Damn, damn sure Ben Simmons wish he had that excuse why he's not even getting minutes on the Brooklyn Nets. But that's just my opinion. But besides that, man, I would say even though the Warriors are not having the best regular season, postseason resume still stands in a cadence, and they've been still able to win games against teams that are even playoff contenders. And if the Warriors can at least win 4 or 5 over the around like 3 to 4 of their last 5 games remaining over the season, because majority of all their opponents are Western Conference teams that are at least a low margin scoring or just highly more disciplined defensively, like the Nuggets or Kings. But not making the play in like the Blazers or the Thunder. I think the Thunder are in the play in. The Thunder should be at least 10th seed by now. They're 30 and 40, only 2 games below, so they're in the play-in spot. Behind Dallas. There's going to be possibly a video over the Dallas Mavericks and why they haven't been doing much, but I got to go over the tape and watch some of their previous games and see what's going on. I know there's been over some reports over the gelling period and, of course, the lack of defensive awareness with the Mavericks. And it's been like that even before the deadline. The Mavericks are just not a good formulated basketball team. And also just accompany a buy-in rental with Kyrie that's possibly not even going to stay. But that's for a video for another time. I don't want to make that like a transition. This is not a podcasted format. This is just a short video to go over what the Warriors could possibly still be a playoff threat, even though they didn't have the best record in the Western Conference. And there's been teams like that. There's been teams that made the conference final, and they weren't the biggest favorites in the postseason. Sometimes the record always doesn't define how a team is going to perform, especially if they already have the postseason experience. Like the Kings that haven't been in the postseason since 2006. It's been a 14-year drought, or 16-year drought for the Kings. The Nuggets haven't made the conference finals since 2020 postseason, 2022, 2021 postseason. We don't even know if the Lakers are still going to be involved, knowing like they're now 7th best in the Western Conference. The Phoenix Suns have a lot to gel out with Kevin Durant, even though they haven't made the conference finals in possibly 3 seasons. The Memphis Grizzlies are just a decent enough playoff team. Seriously, only the Nuggets are above 50 wins, while the Eastern Conference wanted to trade places when it came to parity. And now there's 3 teams in the West that are prime contenders for the NBA championship out of the Sixers, Celtics, and Milwaukee Bucks. Were probable contenders. And on paper, could be the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Suns, or the Warriors. The Warriors are still over in that list even though they're 6th best in the Western Conference. And they've been a more pivotal team with a high scoring record, still able to get scoring rotations over with DiVincenzo or Jordan Poole when he stays in control. Got a good shot blocker out of Kevin Looney, and Kuminga that's good over his post game. Klay Thompson that can still shoot lights out. And Draymond Green is that whenever he picks up over double digits, I think you're just surely done. So, yeah. And they're still in the playoff picture. So, all because they're not really the best looking top team in the West doesn't mean they're still not a major threat. Tell me how you guys feel down below. You feel like the Warriors are still a threat against their record? Comment down below on the DSD show. Thanks for watching.